So to kick off that theme, I'm really excited to welcome up Patrick from CircleCI. Please give him a huge round of applause.
Hello. Good afternoon. Before I start, I suggest to share some story. Imagine you are a young developer, and you just join a company. Okay, so IT bring you a new computer. All right, so you set up the process through IT. You set up the computer. You install your favorite IDE. Would be interesting to know what IDE you prefer. Still easy. Then you start installing some favorite plugins. All right. Then you continue. Connect to the repo of the company. We can imagine. Look at it. Try to clone it. Install the dependencies. And then, moving again, you want to know how the project is working. Then you want to understand how to compile. Find the README. Discover that the README is not up to date. Okay, and so on and so on. Does it remind something? Is it something that developers really live daily? So, in fact, the list is far long, and I stopped before all the topics we can imagine a developer will have to do daily. Okay, and I think, and when I share this with my team, I say we had something, cry on the floor, maybe. So because sometimes it's very hard, and in fact, you know, I think all this topic is really key to understand that we need to care about the developer experience. We really need to care about it deeply. Okay, so I will try in a few minutes to explain what we call new developer experience and why we think it's a topic we need to really have in mind. Maybe not new, but something in a new way to see it. So maybe I should have introduced myself before. So I'm Patrick Joubert. I'm the head of developer experience at CircleCI. I would call myself as a tech lover. I love tech. You know, I'm in the company, the old man with gray hair. I'm 50, 25 years in the tech. I founded 3 companies. The first one, BMAP, my first love, I would say, around cloud. And thanks for the invitation, Scaleway. You know, cloud is always here. The second about conversational AI, and we were at the first VivaTech edition, so I love the way to being connected with the tech industry. And the last one was Ponycode, and we joined through the acquisition CircleCI, and we are focusing 100% on developer experience. So, what we want is to make developer happy. I don't want developer take the computer, put it in the trash. No, we want to focus on this. Okay, so what you would say, developer ecosystem, in a way, and I'm sure you know that, is a very still immature ecosystem. Most of the time when I say this, say, but we know we have lots of new things on the table. When I started, you know, we do not have repos. When I say this, you say, no repos? Yes, no repos. No cloud. Okay, no CI. And even if we have these new tools, we still have lots of flows, lots of issues, lots of things to manage to be sure that we will produce nice software. And if I ask some developers, and maybe you will be happy to answer, and when I ask developer, what do you want and why are you a developer? Write great code. What you want, why you're a developer, is because you want to write great code. And even if the ecosystem is still immature, we need to find ways to remove all these flows to ease the ecosystem. So, back to developer experience. What I suggest is we see developer experience as one definition. I would suggest that we look at many ways of seeing developer experience. Maybe on the top right with the pyramid, you can see it as starting with a function, the stability of it, the ease of use, and then the feature and the capacity you will develop. Okay, so it will be the experience through the technical way of seeing it. One way of seeing the developer experience. On the left with the circle, some would say it's the mix between the user experience and then development principles. And then when we connect both, we will have the developer experience, and that's where we should have developer experience. But in fact, when we look, and if we Google it, okay, we want to know what is developer experience. And Google answered this. So if you do it now, I was surprised when I checked yesterday the definition. This changed from the one I captured earlier in March now, meaning that in fact the interest of developer experience is changing and the way we can see developer experience is changing. What I like in this one is they use a technical product in their workflow. And I think we have to keep in mind that for developers and put the developer at the center using a tool, a technical product in their workflow. And you will see that for us at CircleCI, it's important to put that in context with the workflow. So, what's our vision for developer experience as we are leading this topic for CircleCI? In fact, I would start with the developer is at the center. And don't forget that developer experience is for the developer. And then you have to see it as a whole in many areas. And first we will focus on, does it create value? Or we can say, does it make sense? Clear goals, clear objectives, and what you are doing will have an impact for the company. And be sure that you know that. The second topic is, what's the physical environment? And when we were talking about this topic a few years ago, some people say, is remote something important for some companies in the tech that were pushing this? We all know with COVID crisis that now this topic is really key, and bringing the experience of developer linking with their physical environment will have an impact on how they work and how they can enjoy the way they work and so on. So you will have to pay attention of this, office facilities and remote work. The third point is it a team effort? Meaning developers are not most of the time standalone and are integrated in a team, and you have to be aware of what type of collaboration you are putting on the table, what type of inclusion, what type of way you have for sharing and so on. And the last topic, last but not least, what is the developer environment? And for us, at CircleCI, it's the area we are focusing deeply is to look at processes, infrastructure, tools, all the details where the developer is coding. Their environment, their daily environment, meaning their technical environment. So, we need a boring slide. Sorry for that. On this slide, on the top, you can see the development process. Okay? And for us, the development process and the flow for developers is really, really key. And you can see where CircleCI want to make an impact. You have the CI/CD part, which is where CircleCI is leading, obviously. And you have the test and debug coming from Punycode acquisition. And if I have one message for easing the developer experience while coding, is the earliest possible. Meaning, help developers to code and to develop better code the earliest you can. Meaning, while coding, give feedback of the code quality in the IDE. While coding, give feedback about you should modify this documentation because you modified that type of code in the IDE. Same story for the security, and so on. Shift left everything. And really, we see impact of the happiness of developer bringing this on the table. So, for you, I don't know, CTOs, lead dev, manager for a tech team, we see that there is the technical part of it, but we are convinced that managing the developer experience will have an impact in other areas. I give you a few examples. For example, is there some UX matter? Obviously. Tooling, yes. Human resources, I will come on this point. In fact, when you free the developer experience, you have your tech team more, let's say, flexible, and in a way, this can lead and ease the innovation. When you have a team that there is so many steps, so many stones on the road, when you remove it, then you see that the pace of your team from pushing innovation is not absolutely the same. Another interesting topic, I will group the software quality, reduce technical debt, and control debugging efforts. We'll see that empowering the development team and bringing the developer experience, meaning is it flexible for you guys to, let's say, from idea to code to something in production, very flexible, then you will see that all these areas will be with a huge improvements for the team. Interesting topic, hiring and nurturing top talents. We all know that developer is a very scarce resource. And we discovered that taking care of the developer environment will have an impact on first for you to be able to hire top talents. And if their environment is very, very nice, and you can see that they are so happy that we wrote that they will never work another day, meaning I'm coding, there is no time, I'm free doing what I want. And we see that there is also an impact for keeping your talents inside the company. So, some takeaway for you, and it's not the truth, it's a vision to see the developer experience not just as UX or linking, using nice tools and so on. It's seeing developer experience as a whole, including some impact on the people, empower the people, okay, give feedback for them. Choosing best tools, I would say what I love to say is tools that play nice together. We see that there so many tools, we can find so many tools on the market. The point is for your needs, for your team, you have to choose the tools that are playing nice, that meaning the team is very, very comfortable with using this tool suite, and it's okay for your team, really. And last, I would say reduce time to feedback. Okay, say give your team the way to have feedback the earliest possible to improve the way they are coding, the way they are bringing new best practices and so on for the team. It's the way we are pushing for the developer experience. Okay, I put on the slide what else? It's your best practices, and we know that it's a long journey to ease the developer experience and to ease for developer being really, really so happy. So what we want is developer happy. Thank you very much.